Chair, can I ask something? For me, it is very, very crucial.
I think we agree with the... Yeah.
Can I speak on the...
Honorable DK must remember he's not the speaker today.
Yeah.
He's trying to run the meeting.
Can I request that the pleading that purportedly makes the other matters sub judice is shared with us? Because that is a serious professional concern for me. Can I request that it is actually tabled to see whether the other matters are live before the court? For me, it is absolutely a serious professional issue. So that I think technical officers should remain technical officers and leave politics to the
Point
politics.
of order. No, point of order. We cannot allow that. We cannot allow, we have technical officers.
I'm requesting for a document. Sorry.
No,
I will not allow you to bully me. Okay. I'm sorry.
Point of order.
No,
you know, I'm allowed, understanding orders, to raise point of order.
You know, will not
hold on, Senator.
You know, we cannot condemn people who cannot be heard. We have asked a question to the legal team from National Assembly, and we have asked a question to the legal team from the Senate. There is no way you can victimize.
Honorable,
no. There is no way you can victimize the National Assembly.
No.
Honorable,
you need to withdraw that. You need to withdraw that statement. Yeah.
Honorable
but it is a chance you need to rule because
order.
I have asked for a document. I have a right to get that document.
The decision is for
that
the
one
chairs.
we cannot allow.
The decision is not for you, Honorable DK. That decision is for the chairs of this committee. So leave that decision for this table as the chairs. I give it now to PBO, Mr. Kioko, to be able to respond to the concerns. Or Kioko and Abel, proceed briefly.
Honorable members, I think I was just going to answer co-chair's question about the practicality of what happens. And I think Mheshimiwa Makali and my colleague Lucy alluded to it because it's broken down to the different items that are within the bill. So there are some items like county money that is held with the judiciary, that it holds in terms of minerals. It's money that is there, but the issue has always been, judiciary said, we can't just take money out of our coffers and give to a county. We need an instrument that allows the money to flow to the CRF. So this partly takes care of those funds that are stuck somewhere in the middle but still need to get to the CRF. And I think for the loans and grants, to give it also some context, I think from my previous life, initially there was the issue that we have these devolved functions that are supposed to be done by counties, and also counties are allowed to receive loans and grants. Legally, it's their right to do that. But I think initially there was the issue of coordination and trying to centralize the process so that we have a center where the loans and grants are handled, but also not take away the functions of the counties. And for the donors who agreed for the projects to be implemented at county level and for the counties to receive money, again, the issue of the instrument that goes from how does money leave the consolidated fund and go to the project, and yet the project is supposed to be implemented at county level and oversight happens at county level. And it was mostly donors who were also strengthening devolution. So they wanted the counties to actually do the functions, actually handle the money. And this instrument, I think, came as a bridge because everybody kept asking, how do you go from the consolidated fund to the projects? And you want to hold counties accountable. And so there's a need to get money to go from the consolidated fund to the CRF, then from the CRF to the project, and then have oversight happen at that level. I think for the other projects, again, what Mheshimiwa Makali said is true. For the things like CHPs, that it's the choice. If we don't pass, it just lapses because it's national government driving its agenda, but including counties in trying to achieve its goals. And hence, they come up with agreements between the national governments and the county government where money is co-shared, but there's still that issue of how does money get to the county. So what we pass in the appropriation bill keeps the money still at national level.
Just bring to light, Abel, as far as the issue of grants and loans are concerned, the issue of the interest that is accruing or that accrues.
I think for the loans, usually we have something that...
Sorry, I'm sorry. And from your office, are you in a position, like right now, to submit to this committee how much cost implication will be incurred due to the delay of this remittance for the loans? Those two items, clarity.
Okay, for the loans, usually most donors, development partners, the big development partners, usually have something that is called commitment fees. See, once you sign an agreement or a loan for Kenya, let's say to undertake a certain project, it means the donor has to set aside those funds in preparation for you to access them so that you can carry out their project. But in economics, there is what they call opportunity cost. It means if somebody has set aside money ready for you to spend and you don't spend it, it's accruing some cost because it's money that could have been used somewhere else. And to stop the parking of money, they usually charge a commitment fee or interest on undisbursed balances. It's also supposed to make you implement the project or be in a haste to implement the project. In terms of how much, that one maybe we find out for you offhand, because different donors have different commitment fees.
Thank you so much. I think that answers to Senator Kajwang's concern, and further now highlights that as we speak currently, we already have commitment fees that are currently accruing interest, which you shall maybe in our next meeting, you shall be able to table before this committee on what sums and figures we are looking at. Further to that, PBO, in the event on the questions of if we do not pass this particular bill, what happens to the funds that were to be submitted by the donors? Do they go back and we still pay the charges? Clarity, please.
Okay, it depends on the financing agreement, but I think of clarification for these specific ones, I'm not sure, but what usually happens to the development partner funded projects is funds are disbursed as you meet the requisite requirements for funds to be disbursed. So it's not like they'll give you money to hold as you sort out the processes. So it's money that remains with them. You're paying commitment fees, but it's not that money that you have. It's money that they have. Once you meet whatever is in the financing agreement, that's when the disbursement comes through.
Yeah, quickly.
One more question. So if we don't pass the bill and the development funds are not passed on, is it possible, for instance, if funds were going to form, to allow county governments to form agricultural cooperatives, is it possible for national government to say now they can go to the county and form the agricultural cooperatives and proceed to implement under that fund?
A clarification much more. National government to tell?
National government, because we've not passed the bill, national government then decides to take over that function, can go and form county cooperatives. Is that possible in law?
I think you can ask the lawyers, but I think for the functions that have been devolved and are at county, are being carried out by counties, the only way the national government can have them back is through agreements. National government can't.
I think you missed the question. I might want to help you.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of a conditional grant that goes to counties, and County X has decided to set up the Nandi Cooperative Creameries, for example. and that's a real story. And it's a multi-year project. So they're waiting for the next disbursement to complete the creamery. Now, if the bill is not passed, what Senator Moore is asking, can the national government now take over and complete the creamery? It would be a very absurd arrangement. So I think those are the pitfalls of not passing the bill.
Yeah, I know. Senator is the chairman of PAC, so he speaks from facts on what, when he's oversighting, then what he comes through, and then hence these concerns. I think at this particular point, on all the concerns that have earlier been raised, and they are equally important, allow me just to quickly highlight just on two things. And I want to pick it up from the national address that we had last week by the President on the issue of SHIF and SHA. The President highlighted on the importance of the fund. There have been concerns by Kenyans in regards to the system and registration for SHA. And what has been proposed is that our CHPs will be able to assist in ensuring that people are able to register for this. I'm bringing it up from that point because one of the concerns that us, as the mediation committee, we have is the issue of the allocation of, the proposed allocation of 3.2 billion for CHPs, which has been brought down to 2.58 billion. Now, looking at this particular issue, it's unique in the sense that one, not that National Assembly scrapped it off, but they reduced the amount. An indication that it is important for the CHPs to get their dues and also get their dues on time. Now, narrowing it, you realize that in the report that we have, countrywide, we have 107,831 CHPs. Now, the agreement is 50-50 from the national government and from the counties. Now, with the deduction from 3.2 to 2.58 billion, we are having about 86,000 who are going to be remunerated, but about 21,000 will not be able to get their remuneration. These are CHPs cutting across the 47 counties. Then the question is, what happens to the 21,000? Is this committee, will this committee eventually say that 21,000 should not be within the system? Or will this committee eventually agree and say, no, let us maintain the 107,000 CHPs? Because as you know all about CHPs, that these are our people at the ground. It's just an example among, so that, because I've had the request by members, can we retreat so that in our next meeting, we can be able to conclude or deliberate. But I just wanted to bring to light on the matters that are before us. The last matter, which is an example, is the issue of the county headquarters. These county headquarters are only in 5 counties. What has happened, because as a Committee of Finance and Budget in Senate, we have been able to mediate through this process, bringing in the Minister for National Treasury, bringing in the Public Works engineers, and also the COG, just from the 5 counties. The reality on the ground, that what is happening is that these 5 counties do not have headquarters, but the rest 42 counties have headquarters. Monies had been budgeted for these headquarters for the last 8 years. Monies have been remitted for these headquarters. As we speak, the percentage of works done is about 60 to 70 to 80%. What is remaining is 20%. What has happened? These projects have stalled. And to answer it politically, Honorable DK, you realize those are the concerns that when people go to the ground and they find unfinished works, unconcluded work, that is what actually we are seeing on the social media, whereby funds have been allocated and works have not been completed, and then there is where's value for money. Looking at the issue of inflation today, even these funds were not to be enough to complete the headquarters. So the decision by the Senate by then was that the governors will be able to ensure that those counties, the headquarters, they should be able to finish. So this particular amount of money amounting to about 528 million, the ministry had agreed so that they complete just those 5 headquarters. So colleagues, honorable members, these are some of the issues that are before us, and I believe so much with the experience that each and every member has, these are issues that we can be able to look at them deeply and be able to give a better way forward as far as the issues of the counties and the people, the CHPs, among other issues, are concerned. At this particular point, before I give it to my co-chair, I would like to reopen the floor just briefly for closing remarks as far as our discussions have been concerned, so that in our next meeting, we can be able to analyze and see what we are going to discuss, because the issue of RMLF, most people do agree that we can shelve it aside and also be able to look at the other issues and conclude. We might even conclude, members, honorable members, and decide, as far as issues of CHPs, we are not giving them anything. Were we there when they are agreeing on this issue of CHPs? Were we there when they decided to go do the groundbreaking? Had they not factored these issues? Those are issues that we can be able to deliberate and be able to conclude. Just an example among the many. With those few and many, I give it to my co-chair. Sorry, I open and then my co-chair.
Co-chair, we wanted to propose Honorable Mulu had proposed that the matters because I have seen you have gone to the issues, the matters we have raised are substantial, because we have raised issues that are substantial. Legally, we are about to agree. Politically, that is where the rubber meets the road. We were proposing, as Honorable Mulu had said, that we adjourn, we give the co-chairs time. We are not in a hurry. We give the co-chairs time to go and consult with other stakeholders, especially those who own the cases, so that when we shall be back, maybe we can be given a brief as to what happened. You might have some white smoke somewhere, and our life becomes a bit easier. So instead of dealing with the substance of each and every issue, I think our proposal from the National Assembly, as highlighted by Honorable Mulu, is that we actually retreat and we come back when we have agreed on something.
Honorable DK, let's conclude. Let's, Honorable Makali, nothing? Anything?
Really, as I said, I think the whole essence of us adjourning is also that the teams could consult on a number of issues, so that when we come next, we'll have made some progress in terms of agreeing. But basically, I think what we are saying is the animal in the room is the road maintenance levy. On how we deal with that, it will be very important for this mediation.
Thank you so much. Catherine, anything?
The allocations that